esquina azul.
De Juan Manuel Marquez.
Con pantaloncillo negro. Mide 5'7", pesó 125, una menos que el límite.
Lo que se ve es que lo que se ve es que viene muy entrenado, por eso yo creo que pues se bajó mucho de peso. ¿Por qué? Porque viene muy entrenado.
21-1 es el récord de Juan, con 15 triunfos por la vía rápida. Como decíamos antes, uno de las futuras promesas del boxeo mexicano.
Y uno de los preferidos de aquí, de la gente local de aquí de Lake Tahoe.
Efectivamente, recibió buenos aplausos. Aquí está Mills Lane dando las últimas indicaciones. Seguro que quiere que no haya mordidas aquí en esta pelea.
No, aquí no hay mordidas. Lo que va a haber trancazos.
Está bien. Aquí tenemos pues los pormenores de estos boxeadores. 27 años para Howard, 3 años más veterano, más grande que el muchacho de México, 2 pulgadas de altura. Quizá el alcance sea algo que tengamos que ver aquí. Vamos a ver las reglas de este pelea de la Nabo. El sistema de 10 puntos en vigencia, regla de 3 caídas en uso, no hay conteo de 8 segundos estando de pie, lo salva la campana solo en el último round. Solo el referee puede parar la pelea. Las tarjetas de los jueces se deciden en caso de cabezazo accidental después del tercer asalto. Así es que ahí tienen las reglas, estamos listos para una buena pelea pactada 12 y inicia el primer round.
Ahora vamos a ver a los oponentes. Comienza tranquilo, tira el primer jab, Vincent. Ahora le contesta Márquez.
Un peleador espigado, alto él, el muchacho de Brooklyn, Nueva York. Y bueno, parece que eso va a ser algo que va a tratar de ser el alcance de su mayor aliado aquí, mantenerlo a distancia a Juan Manuel.
Yo creo que el chamaquito va a entrar a boxearlo, y es lo que está haciendo. Entonces Márquez lo que tiene que hacer es que tiene que apretar, meterse hacia adentro, pero con mucho cuidado.
Aquí está pues Juan Manuel Márquez, lo veo yo todavía no sudó mucho, parece que todavía no entra en calor.
No, pero no, porque pues sudó los primeros segundos del primer round, entonces cuando empieza la tranquilidad apenas.
Hay buena izquierda de parte de Juan Manuel, que empujó a su rival, que hasta el momento pues ha tirado muy pocos golpes, ha sido el jab su mejor.
Así es.
Doble izquierda ahí de Juan Manuel, que mencionamos, también es del establo de Don Nacho Beristain, donde estuvo...
donde han salido varios campeones mundiales.
Y donde tú estuviste con él, estuviste con Don Nacho.
Así es, tuvo alrededor de 2 peleas. Ahora entró con un gancho al hígado Juan Manuel Márquez.
Ahí mencionábamos en lo que vieron ustedes antes, en la historia de Juan Manuel, que es un golpe que tiene desde niños. Izquierda, ahí lo conectan con buena derecha a Juan Manuel.
Un golpe sorpresivo que lo agarró dormido.
Sí, que este muchacho tiene manos rápidas.
Es que el problema también es el primer round y pues no saben qué es lo que traen cada uno.
Estamos aquí pues en el primer round, pelea pactada 12 por el título pluma de la Nabo, que está en manos ahorita de Juan Manuel Márquez. Lo ganó el pasado mes de febrero allá en Anaheim y lo está defendiendo por tercera ocasión.
Y parece que vinieron los dos con hambre, porque lo salieron, ahora no hubo round de tanteo, fue de lleno, ¿no?
Efectivamente, los dos han tirado buenos golpes. El movimiento de Vince Howard, ha sido aquí lo que ha prevalecido en el primer asalto. Juan Manuel va sobre él y lo logra conectar con una buena derecha.
Como dijeron, los dos vienen a ganar y es lo que están haciendo. Están peleando y a la gente lo que le gusta es, ¿no?
Efectivamente, los dos mucho movimiento sobre el ring. Juan Manuel Márquez ha demostrado en veces anteriores que tiene una gran pegada, pero que también sabe boxear. Así es que va a ser interesante qué es lo que puede hacer Howard contra él. Buena izquierda otra vez de parte de Márquez.
Márquez le pega un gancho al hígado, pero también le contesta Vince. Le vuelve a pegar otro. Ahora no fue gancho, fue en las costillas, pero del otro lado. Está entrando un golpe. Entró en cortito, los dos están pegando muy bien.
Bueno, estamos a los últimos 10 segundos de este primer asalto. Regresamos para el segundo después de estos mensajes. Aquí a César Stajo, segundo asalto de una pelea pactada 12. Un buen primer round, nada de tanteo, los dos a lo que venían, y así es que hemos visto buenos primeros 3 minutos.
Así es, y estamos escuchando ahorita en la esquina de Márquez que le decían Don Nacho Beristain que pues que alzara la mano y que se cuidara de esa derecha que le estaba entrando.
Muy rápido Howard, así es que va a tener que tener mucho cuidado Juan Manuel con él.
tiene que trabajar duro para si él quiere ganarla esta pelea.
Efectivamente ha sido un buen primer asalto. Ahí viene otra vez, ahora en el segundo, buena izquierda, que parece que es la mejor arma de Juan Manuel, la izquierda.
Así es, pues la trabaja muy bien. Y le está repitiendo el gancho al hígado. Márquez a Vincent.
Arriba y abajo, ahí en esa ocasión, donde fueron dos excelentes golpes de parte de Juan Manuel. Y un poquito más parado veo yo a Vince Howard después de sus golpes, un golpe bajo.
Sí, se lo pegó bajo
Le pide Mills Lane que si quiere tiempo, y le dice que cuide los golpes bajos. Efectivamente un poco se vio muy abajito ese golpe. Bueno, vamos a tener que tener cuidado aquí. Juan Manuel ahí un caballeroso, tuvo oportunidad de golpearlo y no lo hizo.
Es que así es, porque esto es un deporte, ¿no? Es un deporte, esto es ni modo, es una pelea pero como de amigos.
Ahí está pues, buena izquierda, buena derecha de Juan Manuel, que parece un poco más acertado con sus golpes en este segundo asalto.
Le vuelve a agarrar con un gancho, otra vez gancho, y le duele. Y parece que Márquez está entrando ya con más confianza y le está metiendo más los golpes.
Sí, yo esperaba quizá Don Howard más movidito, pero no, quiere intercambiar golpes.
Sí, nomás que la fortaleza está con Márquez. Y entonces lo está agarrando con el gancho al hígado y se lo vuelve a repetir otra vez y ahí se lo pegó otra vez y le duele. Pero no sé por qué se queja si fue un golpe legal.
Ahí ese golpe estaba ahí en la pura cintura, en el hígado, más bien dicho.
Más que el problema es que como le dolió, pues como hace rato fue abajo, ahora se quiso pues llamar atención y es lo que hizo.
Quiso aprovechar la situación, como tú dices, porque el primero le dolió y este fue en el puro hígado.
Así es. Y se lo vuelve a repetir, más que ahora le volvió a pegar un poquito más, le pegó un poquito abajo, más que ahora no pasó nada.
Pelea.
Vincent está haciéndose adelante, está apretando.
Creo que aquí al fajador lo quieren echar para atrás, le quieren quitar su agresividad.
Yo creo que está equivocando la pelea a Vincent, porque con los tiempos más largo él tiene que boxear.
Bueno, estamos en los últimos segundos. ¡Ahí cae! Ahí cayó con una fuerte derecha y le están contando a Vince Howard un buen derechazo de parte de Juan Manuel Márquez que lo puso. Y ahí tenemos los final. Campanazo, regresamos. Bueno, vamos a ver aquí cómo se siente Howard después de ese golpe que recibió.
Así es, lo agarró entrando con un derechazo, se lo pegó el puro botón y cayó. Y estaba mal, además que tocó la campana.
Efectivamente pararon ahí, parece que los campanas lo ha salvado aquí. En su esquina, Víctor Valle. Vamos a ver la repetición, Jorge, de lo que pasó en ese round.
Así es. Entró y lo agarró con una derecha. Los dos se tiraron, pero además que se lo pegó Márquez.
Buen golpe de derecha y como dicen en el puro botón.
Así es, estamos mirando que no sé.
Ahí va otra toma.
Se lo pegó rosorcito. Yo creo que si se lo pega bien puesto, lo manda al paraíso del dormilón, ¿no?
Lo hubiera dejado ahí tendido en la lona.
Yo creo que sí.
Bueno, ahí está, ya parece recuperado. A ver, vamos a ver qué tan recuperado viene para esta tercer asalto. Howard y pues Maromero lo apuntó, el hombre estaba equivocando su pelea.
Así es, lo que pasa es que él tiene que boxear. La estatura que tiene, el alcance que tiene. Más que se quiso bajar y quiso llevar agua al remolino, pues no se puede.
Sí, no se puede y efectivamente cayó y ahora lo veo que quiere correr un poquito más Howard, que es lo que tiene que hacer, boxear.
Yo creo que me escuchó que tenía que boxear y es lo que está haciendo, ¿no?
Efectivamente, ya está más sobre sus piernas, está tratando de agarrar más aire, de recuperarse después de esa caída.
Yo creo que ahora será hacer un poquito más fácil a Márquez conectarlo porque ya empezó como que ya agarró su respeto, ¿no?
¿Qué tanta confianza recibe un boxeador cuando logra tumbar a su oponente?
Bueno, pues mucho porque ya sabe que otra vez con cualquier golpe se puede caer otra vez, se puede caer. Entonces pues uno agarra confianza. Dime a mí. Ahora empezó a boxear y lo agarró tiró un derechazo, se lo pegó en la cara. Vincent a Manuel Márquez.
Ahí está pues Márquez ya siguiendo a su rival. Ahí buena izquierda y dice que está atrás.
No, pero lo pegó atrás porque al mismo tiempo que se movió, se lo tiró el golpe y pues mismo se lo pegó ahí. Ahora está marcando un volado que falla.
Buena derecha ahí, ya tratando de golpear un poquito más. Está tirando ya golpes otra vez Howard. Quien digo otra vez parece que está tratando de recuperarse después de esa caída.
Así está boxeando y Márquez por no está fijándose qué golpe le va a tirar.
Está Márquez tratando de acorralarlo en su propia esquina, en la esquina de Howard. Le conecta varios golpes y parece que lo tiene lastimado.
Yo creo que lo ataca con varios golpes y se enoja Vincent y ahora es de que ataca. Ahora es de que ataca él.
Ataca Vince, parece que quiso ahí demostrarle como que lo quiso que...
Y es lo que está haciendo otra vez, atacando.
Después del primer round de...
Ahora Vince tira con un jab, se lo pega.
Ahí lo recibe con una derecha Juan Manuel Marquez. Que en esta ocasión la están haciendo Howard nuevamente sobre él, atacando.
Yo creo, pues como se ha dicho, la mejor defensa es el ataque y es lo que está haciendo, está atacando.
Lo que después de un round y medio de haber corrido, ahora paró, está intercambiando golpes con Juan Manuel Marquez. Estamos en el tercer asalto, en los últimos segundos de este tercer asalto, pelea pactada 12. Ya hubo una caída, cayó Howard y regresamos después de estos mensajes.
Así es, que cuando lo atacó con varios golpes y casi todos se los pegó, todos. Y ya no hallaba la puerta Vince.
Y finalmente decidió atacar para salirse de esa esquina. Estamos pues aquí en el cuarto asalto, pelea pactada 12, en la que pues a Juan Manuel Marquez ha tenido, creo, la mejor actuación.
Así es, y lo que estoy viendo a Juan Manuel Marquez, que parece que trae un chichón en la frente. Parece
que le han levantado ahí un golpe. Nuestros compañeros allá en inglés, Fernando Páramo, tiene la pelea totalmente de un lado, y igualmente Marcelino.
Así es, y lo vuelve a agarrar con otro gancho y otra vez lo vuelve a repetir. Y aquí otra la gente pues se está poniendo a favor de Márquez.
Están viendo que el muchacho está muy estudiado, tiene muy buen talento, sabe pelear.
Así es, sabe pelear y está en la pura edad de hacer cosas maravillosas, ¿no? Y es lo que está haciendo. Se lo vuelve a repetir otra vez el gancho al hígado.
Ahí Howard contesta con la izquierda, que ha sido su mejor arma, el jab. Es lo que ha mantenido quizás un poquito alejado a Márquez. Quizá ya hubiera acabado más pronto si Howard no tuviera ese buen jab.
Así es, pues lo está cosas con el jab, pues lo está alejando. Pues. Y lo vuelve a tocar, agarró otra vez con todo golpe. Ahora alza las manos, Vincent como que diciendo, no me haces nada.
Y bueno, izquierda otra vez, y pues si no le está haciendo nada, pues...
Pero yo creo que en el hueso, nomás, porque mirando que pues todos los golpes lo están pegando, nomás que es valiente Vincent.
Ha recibido buen castigo aquí en los primeros 3 asaltos, estamos ya en el cuarto. Buena, y la izquierda sigue siendo ahí, izquierda arriba y abajo, y otra vez levanta los brazos.
Así es, no sé por qué lo levanta, pues todo el golpe que se lo tira se lo está pegando. Es que yo creo que le están doliendo.
Ahí tratando de hacerle pensar a Juan Manuel que no le está haciendo daño, pero pues cada vez lo veo más lento a este muchacho, y ya ahí los aventones, ya las piernas como que están un poquito flojas de parte de Howard.
Y lo vuelve a agarrar y vuelve a bajar la guardia. Y le empieza a bajar la guardia enfrente de él. Esa es valentía. Le tira un voleo pero lo falla y lo vuelve a agarrar el Márquez.
Esos golpes que está conectando Márquez, están todos viéndolo los jueces les gusta ver esos golpes claros.
Oye, la verdad que fue muy fuerte los golpes que está pegando Márquez. Maquete chamaquito Vincent, miro que es valiente, pero pues no más vale no ser valiente porque está pegando muchos golpes y ya.
Bueno, estamos en los últimos segundos del cuarto asalto. Hay buenas combinaciones de parte de Márquez. Regresamos para el quinto asalto después de esto. Del cuarto asalto.
Así es, donde veamos a Márquez que le pega un derechazo y se lo vuelve a rematar.
Efectivamente, 2 tremendos derechazos. Ahora volvemos pues a la acción en vivo otra vez. Estamos en el quinto asalto y sigue haciendo lo mismo, que no le duelen, pero pues son muchos golpes.
Y así es, ahorita estaba mirando a la esquina de Vincent. Y en la esquina que no estuviera jugando haciendo eso que está haciendo con lo que lo volví a hacer ahorita. Haciendo las manos, jugando como que no le duelen. Y por eso lo regañamos ahorita en su esquina.
Tú eres uno de esos expertos, a veces se te olvidan las indicaciones, te gusta, no digamos payasear, pero te gusta hacer cosas sobre el ring.
Así es que, pues, yo no, cuando me duele, pues no, yo creo que no lo hago porque pues me dolió, pero es que yo estoy así, pues, no me lo pueden quitar, ¿no? Digo que ni que fuera gripa, ¿no?
Efectivamente, ahí estaba pues Juan Manuel Márquez con la izquierda, que sigue conectando muy bien esa izquierda, arriba y abajo. Y Howard sigue haciendo la pelea de enfrente, se va sobre él, enfrente de él, agresivo.
Así es, pero es peor para él, porque cada que entra lo reciben con varios golpes, no con uno, con 2, 3 golpes. Es peor para él, tiene que boxear.
Mucho castigo está recibiendo aquí ya en los primeros 5 asaltos de esta pelea pactada, 12, porque es por el título pluma de la Napo. Juan Manuel Márquez, uno de esos peleadores que dicen que va a llegar muy lejos. ¿Qué piensas de él, Jorge?
Yo lo que digo que mi respeto para Márquez, porque es un gran peleador, es un gran prospecto. En este año no es campeón, pero yo creo para fines del año que viene, yo creo que lo van a meter por un campeonato mundial, porque yo creo que los vale.
Efectivamente, ahí están las palabras de Jorge Maromero Páez. Ustedes lo oyeron aquí, sí le ve madera. Vamos a ver entonces el futuro de Márquez, parece muy brillante y aquí está haciendo una buena actuación. El muchacho Vince Howard, un desconocido para él, pero pues se le ha parado. Quizá no ha sido su mejor plan de pelea para Howard.
Así es, porque pues no se puede bajarse haciendo, porque él es un boxeador, no es un fajador. Además que yo creo, no me lastimas, está atacando, pero está haciendo todas cosas al revés, porque entra y lo reciben con golpes.
Efectivamente, una cosa es entrar y quitarse los golpes, pero él cada vez que entra lo conectan.
Y más con el gancho ligado.
Y efectivamente ha sido la izquierda de Juan Manuel, aquí ha estado muy buena esta noche, muy acertado arriba y abajo.
Así es, porque se presta, porque él está muy alto, Vince está alto y gancho ligado se presta.
Ahí una de las pocas derechas que ha tirado Howard en esta noche, pero no la logró conectar. Y ahí lo conectan arriba y abajo otra vez Juan Manuel Márquez.
Y se lo revuelve a repetir. Como que este chamaquito se aguanta.
Ha aguantado mucho, ya estamos en los últimos segundos aquí de este asalto y regresamos después de estos mensajes.
There's times where Vince Howard is very dangerous. This is one of them, coming up with a hook to the throat almost, right underneath the chin. One of the best punches of the night.
We are in round 6, and ABO featherweight title on the line. Juan Manuel Marquez would appear to be ahead on points, but Vincent Howard appears to be still a very dangerous opponent in this fight because he has big moments, it seems, in every round, and he's landed a number of good punches on Juan Manuel Marquez.
In the very last minute of the last round, Marquez used his left hand real good, and he hit him with real good shots.
You know, they have been following the production to the body. There has been much less hooks, so it might have affected him, the fact that Mills Lane at the beginning told him to keep the punches up.
Marquez, other than that disqualification in his first bout, which you can hardly count in the first round in his pro debut, after a headbutt, he really has come close to losing only one time, and he was behind and outboxed by Julian Wheeler, but he came from behind in that fight and stopped Wheeler in the 10th round, a very controversial stoppage about that he nearly lost, and he was knocked down here a year ago in this very ring by Daryl Pinkman, but it was a fight that he got up and won by decision.
You know, he remembers that disqualification bout. He claims that it was against a fighter that belonged to one of the commissioners. That's when he disqualified. He knocked him out. He knocked out the other guy. Apparently, they somehow thought that it was after the belt, and they just gave him the loss. But actually, he should be undefeated at this point.
He's a good fighter, and tonight he's doing a real good job against Howard.
Also a Golden Gloves Mexican champion. So he's done his homework. We asked his dad, well, you know, aren't you afraid of having him in this profession? He says, well, yes, but he likes it, and we make sure that he's very prepared for each fight.
Marquez was told in his corner that he had to go around and look for the angles, but until now he's fighting very frontal.
Marquez able to get underneath that lead right hand of Vincent Howard. He takes a little walk around the ring and now attends to business once again.
I'm trying to look for wear and tear, and they both seem in pretty good shape, although at this point, Vince Howard's legs seem to start going.
He sags back into the ropes after that arsenal thrown by Juan Manuel Marquez. Marquez doesn't seem quite convinced that was the real thing, that Howard was hurt. The crowd was trying to urge him in, and Marquez just was very careful and stood off and was taking a look at his opponent to make sure that he was not playing possum up against the ropes. We are halfway through now the scheduled 12 rounds for the NABO featherweight title. All right, here we go into round 7, scheduled for 12. Vincent Howard, the challenger for the NABO title in the all-black trunks. Juan Manuel Marquez, screen left right now in the black trunks with the gold trim. I thought in the corner of Vincent Howard between rounds that Howard looked somewhat discouraged and not very enthusiastic.
This might be the beginning of the end, because Howard really is discouraged. Their team is telling him to really go, and in the other side, they're telling Juan Manuel Marquez, go get him.
All right, let's take a look at how my two partners have it scored. Fernando Paramo 60-54 in favor of Juan Manuel Marquez. And after 6 rounds, Marcelino Avila has it a little bit closer. Marquez leading 58-54.
He's being kind.
Well, Veristani is not very confident, because he told Marquez in the corner, this fight is in your side, but it's very close, so you gotta go and get him.
Well, Victor Valley was telling Vincent Howard, you're not doing anything. And Howard was just sitting there kind of staring off into space. And now tries to open up, and again tries to back Juan Manuel Marquez up, and a very good right uppercut by Howard inside. A beautiful punch, and then Marquez answers with a shot that knocks the mouthpiece out of Vincent Howard's mouth. So they both landed big shots, and now Mills Lane will stop the action, bring Howard back to the corner, and have the mouthpiece washed off.
He's tired. You can just tell by the way he leans against the rope, tries to get a second's rest, and anything will help at this point.
I thought Howard had landed a terrific shot. A really riveting right uppercut, but Marquez came right back with a big right hand. Knocked the mouthpiece out.
Howard's legs are kind of weak now, so he has to stand up in front of Marquez. It's not a good idea to stand in front of a puncher.
Marquez utilizing that left hand, both jabs and hooks.
The one thing that Nacho Beristain says is that he wants Marquez to go in, not to fight for a world title, but to go in to win a world title.
It sounded like when we talked to them, they were aiming in the direction of Luisito Espinosa as the champion they would like to go after early next year. Another good right hand by Howard, and Marquez holds up against the ropes.
That was another thing that they realized, that he can also take a punch. Marquez can take a punch, but it was knocked down, as you mentioned, by Daryl Pinkley. But it was that was a guy that was able to knock down anybody.
Sure, Pinckney is a good puncher, no doubt about it. He landed a good shot on Marquez, but the important thing was Marquez got up and he went on to dominate the rest of the fight.
He also said that he learned about a lot, not to lower the left hand.
10 seconds to go in round number 7. Marquez working that left as the round comes to an end.
Vince Howard is still dangerous, and he's going to be dangerous until he's either put out or called out.
Well, I think that he's kind of tired, but he's putting an effort to try to get even with Marquez.
Now that right uppercut was a beauty, no doubt about it, in that last round, but it was followed up just moments later by Marquez's terrific right that knocked the mouthpiece of Vince Howard right out of his mouth. We are in round 8. It is scheduled for 12. Glad you're with us on Fight Night on KCAL. Rich Morata along with Fernando Paramo and Marcelino Avila, and Juan Manuel Marquez trying to go to work here early.
And I think that
round 8.
I think that up to now, Vince Howard has demonstrated to be a very capable fighter. I think he's a very dangerous fighter, and I think that a fight like this, if he was to lose it, it would hurt him because he's taking terrific punishment. This is the kind of fight that really puts wear and tear on the body.
Howard is bleeding now from his mouth very heavily. I don't know if it's just a lead or it's from inside.
But you see Howard land that left hook inside. He is still dangerous, as we said. And a left hook to the body by Howard. He has punches and has moments every round.
Just being overwhelmed by the more activity of Manuel Marquez.
Howard trying to answer back that flurry of Marquez.
Those cuts inside the lips are very dangerous because what happening is that the boxer is swallowing his blood.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, and besides that, sometimes it goes the wrong way. It goes in the pipe and
the windpipe.
Yeah, the windpipe, and it's very, very bothersome.
Howard steps back almost as if to take a breather there as Marquez digs another left hook to the body.
I think there's a time in a fight in which a fighter just says, I can win this thing, although I'm trying, and that's the point where they quit, and the beating gets worse.
1 minute to go in round number 8.
I think that Marquez slowed down a little bit in this round too.
And the mouthpiece falls out this time out of the mouth of Vince Howard.
I think he practically threw it down. I think you're gonna start seeing that. I think he's really getting tired.
He looked very weary. You could see him there in the corner. It looked to me like his legs kind of sagged in the corner. He just needed a breather, and those body shots gives you no breather at all.
There's no more bounce on his legs.
Marquez just continues to pound, doing a good job, and Marquez has done a nice job of not being bothered by the early 2 warnings by Mills Lane as far as the low blows. He's continued along with his game plan, which is basically to continue to break down his opponent by utilizing those body shots. But look at Howard still.
Yeah, just when you're ready to count him out, here comes a punch, hits Marquez, and just keeps him honest.
Vince Howard is one tough nut to crack.
Now the chants of Mexico are coming on.
As we come to the end of round number 8, very good fight. Juan Manuel Marquez has had a busy night's work here this evening. And still to come, our main event here this evening, what should be a very interesting and action-packed 10-rounder in the junior welterweight division. Hector Quiros, kid who needs a win, going up against Jaime Oseguera. And there you see the good-looking Quiros, who was called the next Chavez or the young Chavez when he first started coming up and was knocking everybody out. And that's probably an unfair label to have to live up to.
Well, then he started facing the very tough opposition. Here's Oseguera, the opponent. This is a guy that's 28 years old. He is pretty much in his last hurrah. There's a guy that will make one of them and pretty much break the other one.
Remember, Oseguera has lost only one time in his career, and looking forward to that. As we go back to the corner now, Vincent Howard, and await the beginning of round number 9. Juan Manuel Marquez, defending his NABO title for the 3rd time and looking for bigger things in the future in terms of a world championship next year.
Marquez has to put a lot more pressure on the body punches. It's the only way that he can take this guy out.
But this is what is happening in this fight, something similar, of a lesser scale, of course, like when Sal Sanchez made Azuma Nelson, made him work harder, throughout the fight, had to go all the way to the end of the fight in order to beat him. That was another very well-kept secret from Ghana then.
Yeah, he was very young.
And that was quite a shocking performance. So everyone expected Azuma to get just blown out of there by Salvador Sanchez. No one had heard of Azuma. And that was not the case. That was a tremendous performance by Nelson against such a great champion as Sanchez. And he went on to greatness himself, of course.
Still bleeding from the mouth, Vince Howard. Still trying.
Mills Lane with a warning to both fighters to watch for a clash of heads.
Howard lost his speed now, but I don't think he's lost his power.
He starts the round real good, and then later in the second half, he gets tired again.
Still chance of Mexico. And that's when you know that the boxers are becoming idols. When you start hearing the chants of Mexico, I'm talking about the Mexicans, of course.
Yes. No, the chant of Guyana has not started this evening for Vincent Howard. Marquez, it's interesting, will end a lot of his combinations. You don't see many fighters do this. A lot of his flurries, he will end with a left hook to the body. And that's unusual. A lot of fighters will throw that at some point within the flurry or combination, but a lot of times he'll end it with that left hook to the body.
And as the fight is coming along now in the 9th round, it seems to me that Vince Howard would need a knockout pretty much in order to win, or to have really strong 4 rounds with knockdowns and so on.
But he comes forward, landed a right and a left combination to the head of Marquez, and then Marquez answers right back, stuns Howard momentarily with that right hand.
And that is what Nacho Beristain has been working in the past. He wants him to hit and move to get away from the opponent's blows.
I'm sure that Marquez is very surprised because he hit this guy with everything. He cannot put him down.
The second time that the mouthpiece goes down, and now it seems that both times was intentional. Miles Lane also believes that is the case, and he's telling him that if he drops it again, he's going to deduct points.
Well, he told him flat out, don't spit it out, Vince. Final seconds now of round number 9. Inside 10 seconds to go, and Marquez going back to the jab to end the round. All right, we begin round number 10. It's a 12-rounder for the NABO featherweight title. In the corner of Vincent Howard, Victor Valley Jr., his trainer, was playing the part of a cheerleader there and really trying to encourage Howard, who...
But he told him, you're losing it. You're losing it totally.
And that's according to Fernando Paramo's scorecard. He would agree with that. And he has Marquez winning every round and ahead 90-81. A little bit closer on Marcelino Avalos' scorecard, 88-81 in favor of the champion Juan Manuel Marquez. And Howard wobbles back into his corner. Is he hurt or not?
I believe he might be, although he I don't know, he's playing possum, but he was hurt.
He got hit, a terrific combination. Marquez doesn't seem to believe it. Marquez, look at how patient he is. And stands there. Marquez is a very disciplined fighter. And the one thing I've really liked about his fights with people like Agapito Sanchez in the past and other fighters is he is very patient in the ring, and he waits till the proper moment to do what he has to do.
That's what he says, that he is a crowd pleaser. And I think you can see that he's a crowd pleaser. See, he still takes punches. But he doesn't want to just go out and blow any possibility of a triumph by risking too much.
Well, he knows that he has the edge in the fight, and I think that he's being very opportunistic.
Also, as we're going towards the late rounds, you would have to think about training. Marquez has been trained in altitude over at Mexico City. He's in great shape. I don't think New York is too high up and above sea level. So I think that that the benefit goes to Juan Manuel Marquez here in Lake Tahoe that is so high.
I think that that's one advantage, and the other one is that he's better at school. He's a better fighter.
I just don't know if Howard can last the distance. He seems to be tiring badly here in this round. Trying to surprise Marquez with an uppercut inside, but taking too many shots is Vincent Howard. Looks like he wants to back off the ropes and try to throw something off the ropes, but he's getting pounded here. Marquez with another good left hook.
And one of the things that happens with Marquez is that he might lose a little bit of speed in his legs towards the late rounds, but he never loses his powers or the power because he has knocked out people late in the rounds.
Howard still fighting back. He's a warrior.
I think they knew that they had a good fighter on their hands over at the group that handles him, what is called round 4. But I think they underestimated Juan Manuel Marquez's abilities.
They really felt from the tapes that they had studied that Marquez was too methodical and too slow. That has not been the case as we end the 10th round.
Vince Howard got hit with this power punch, but I think he started playing possum after that. He wasn't as hurt as he appeared to be.
At least Marquez didn't think so. Howard was still saying in his corner to his trainer, Victor Valley, I can do it, I can do it. But Valley was telling him you're going to have to put everything you've got into it and knock him out. I believe he has taken really an exorbitant amount of punches now.
Well, it came to the point when he has to win by a lucky punch because Marquez is way ahead of him.
The chance of Mexico come back again. And the last time the people were really behind any fighter was Humberto Chiquita Gonzalez in this location. Which means that the name of Marquez is starting to spread.
Good right hand, chopping right hand by Vincent Howard. One of his best punches in rounds, several rounds. And another right hand by Howard moves Marquez back. And Howard has come out here to throw caution to the winds and go for it. Howard going for the gusto. But Marquez with a left uppercut. And another one inside. And the fans getting into it. Howard backs into his corner. He surprised Marquez, but now Marquez answering back, and Howard looks tired. Howard looks beaten in his corner now as Marquez begins to pour it on, and Mills Lane is watching closely. Howard has his hands down. Howard looks ready to go.
Let's see if he reacts, if he throws a punch, or if he's in fact going.
Well, I don't think he's faking now. He's taking a lot of punches.
Howard came out to give it one big shot and may not have anything left.
Well, he's still trying. And you said that I was saying about the name of Juan Manuel Marquez spreading. I think that Vincent Howard's name is also spreading. I think that from now on, even if he was to lose, which seems to be the case so far, he's still going to be looked at as a very, very dangerous opponent.
But he's taking a lot of punches. He started off very fast at the beginning of this round, landed a couple of his very best punches of the fight, and then Marquez came back big.
Well, seems to me that Howard doesn't have the energy to go the whole round real strong anymore.
But that's the same thing that he did in the previous round, and yet he came up pretty strong. Hit Marquez with a couple of great right hands, and I think until the bell rings, he is going to be in this fight.
Marquez, another right hand. Howard wobbles back a little bit, now trying to last out the round. Utilizing his legs, bleeding from the mouth wide open, trying to breathe. And a weary Vincent Howard slumps in his corner.
I don't know what you can tell a fighter like this.
Vincent, okay? Yeah, man. Your vision okay? Yes. You want to keep going, Vince? Yes, man. You lost one, man. You want to keep going? Wake up. Okay. Stop moving your head. Just move your head now.
They asked him, how do you feel? And he came out with a slang that says, I'm feeling great.
Who said that? Marquez?
Marquez, yeah. Now they want him to go to the body.
Glad you're with us here tonight on KCAL, and there you'll take a look at the Spanish-speaking portion of our telecast tonight. Ricardo Jimenez and the great Jorge Paez.
He's having a ball.
I wonder if Ricardo can kind of hold him in check.
Oh, I think he can. And also, remember, your Paez, for the first time, he's not taking punches in this ring.
12th and final round of what has been an action-packed fight. Juan Manuel Marquez and Vincent Howard.
A trademark KCAL show.
Fernando Parmo has Marquez well in front by 11 points. Marcelino Avila has Marquez 9 points in front as we reach this final round. Marquez working the uppercut.
Marquez wants the knockout, but I don't think he's going to get him. He's kind of late for the knockout.
I think he should be very happy with this performance. I think that he should give lots of credit to Vince Howard, a guy that has been dangerous all along, and that really made him work and even made him look good.
Well, there's no doubt he's made him work. He's still trying to back Marquez up. Mills Lane, a little bit of trouble separating the two this time.
They asked him in the middle of the round, do you want to go? He says, I want to go. I want to do it.
I don't know if you noticed this, but there are no clinches in this fight.
The one very
just that one. It wasn't a clinch. They were kind of
an embrace.
Not in the romantic sense, of course. Two fighters fighting in long range here.
Marquez, I believe, feels that he has this in the bag. That is no reason to expose the chin or risk anything anymore.
Well, I think he does, and I think Vincent Howard has been impressive in defeat.
Oh, yeah.
But the judges will decide if it is defeat or not. But Marquez again with a combination. Marquez tonight, we've seen him a lot of times not stop with 2 or 3 punches, but land 5, 6, 7 punch combinations. From what you've seen tonight, guys, is Marquez ready for the very best? Is he ready to fight for a world
championship? I think he is. Now, Mills Lane is stopping him.
That is it.
I think they should have let him go. Not that he was going to win, but at least the record wouldn't say that he was knocked out. He would be able or allowed to fight in a shorter time. Not that he should be fighting in a shorter time. But I think that Mills Lane just said, let's not have any more punishment for this guy.
Yeah.
Marquez was on his way out, wasn't really pushing him anyway.
Well, apparently he just felt that there was no point in continuing because Marquez was so far ahead and he felt that Vince Howard really had no shot at winning the fight. So Juan Manuel Marquez gets the stoppage of the bout in the 12th round. There's the vanquished Vincent Howard, who gave it his all, but it wasn't enough against the likes of Juan Manuel Marquez. Fight Night on KCAL is being brought to you in part by KWKW, LA's #1 Spanish sports station, and by KKBT 92.3, The Beat. All right, the fight is over here at Caesars Tahoe. Juan Manuel Marquez is still the champion. The fight ends just barely inside the distance. Let's get the official particulars from ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, with a time of 2 minutes, 17 seconds of round number 12, our referee in charge, Mills Lane, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, and still the NABO featherweight champion, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Well, Marquez getting it inside the distance, 2:17 of round 12.